Hello, inspiring educators. Adele Bates, behaviour and education specialist, keynote speaker, and author of Miss I Don't Give a Shit, engaging with challenging behaviour in schools. If you haven't got your pre-order, if you haven't got your copy, run, jump, skip and get it now. You'll find it, links to it on the homepage. So, in this vlog, I want to share with you how I haven't always had the approaches to behaviour that I have now. I came from a very, very different place with this, and I think an individual educator's journey with behaviour management, with challenging behaviour, with distressing behaviour, with behaviour that challenges you, is a really, really interesting thing for us to look at, because the way that we experienced it when we were pupils and the way that we do that as educators, as school leaders, is all very, very connected. So in this vlog, I want to share a little bit of mine. In general, I was a good girl at school, and breaking the rules, it was something I could do if I felt that it went towards a social cause. So, for example, I was one of the people who was in the debating team and would argue with the head about the uniform. I would start a petition over bringing in recycling at our school, which didn't exist in the 90s. And I was also often late. So, yeah, I kind of broke those rules, but I didn't push anything too much. And one of the biggest influences on me was my singing teacher. And if you didn't know, before I became a behaviour and education specialist and taught in mainstream, I was an opera singer. So I had a singing teacher, and I was an opera singer for 8 years. And this teacher I worked with her from a very, very early age, right through my childhood and my teens. And she was very strict. There's no two ways about it. And I'm sure that she would agree with that too. And what she did was give me a fantastic, amazing work ethic. I know how to work hard. I have a capacity for working hard. I will hit every deadline, whether it turns me upside down or not. That's part of my work ethic, and I thank her for that. And she also gave me a very, very rigid approach to discipline and behaviour. And then when it came to me starting to teach, that's the kind of thing that came out. So I began teaching actually when I was 13 years old. I started teaching singing and violin to younger children. And then at around that age as well, I set up a drama school with a friend who's a little bit older, and we set up a drama school for primary school aged children. So by the age of 16, I was running my own business and teaching younger children drama, and we put them through festivals, we put them through exams, we did lots of shows around the town. So this was the kind of disciplined ethic I had in myself, that I could be a 16-year-old doing that. I think I actually started around 14, and my friend at the time was 17, and I did that right up till my A-levels, until I went to drama school. So I had only really had the models of teaching that I had had myself, and I knew that my singing teacher got some great results out of me, and so basically I became a mini her, and I was strict. I was very strict. And I then think to later on, so after my drama degree, after my master's, I did I ran a drama school again, over in Brighton this time, and I did this with a colleague, Vicky Tremaine. Love her. And again, I was teaching like my singing teacher, and I'm laughing and I'm pausing here because I'm thinking of Vicky having to deal with this in me at that time. But in another way, it worked. We used to run the school shows for the school. So this was over 100 8 to 11-year-olds, plus parents and carer volunteers that I would direct. And so I would do a warm-up in the hall, and we would have over 100 of them all in a circle, and I would be directing a vocal warm-up or a physical warm-up. And a friend who came to assistant direct with me at the time, he said, "You're like Julie Andrews on acid." Because I have this, I still have my bubbliness, but I would also have a, Yeah, I would really come down sometimes. And in a dance club that I taught, the young people who came, they weren't allowed to come unless their hair was up and out their face, and there must not be one hair in their face. And I was so strict about this, so strict. And it worked up to a point. And then I started working in PRUs, pupil referral units, alternative provisions, young people with SEMH, social, emotional, mental health issues. And the one thing I found with them is I absolutely love working with them, hence why I'm doing the job I am now, because their energy in general is, I mean, they've just got so much energy, and I feel like I have the capacity to hold a safe space for that. And I really enjoyed that challenge of, you know, meeting them where they're at and playing with them and working with them and giving them that positivity. And this is where things started to become a bit undone. Because actually, when you're working with a young person who doesn't respond well to rules, doesn't respond well to strictness, doesn't respond well to over-discipline, once I tried to be hard, maybe I shouted, maybe I gave threats, ultimatums, they threw it back in my face. And I would get sentences back a little bit like the title of my book, Miss, F off, I don't give a shit. It's not a coincidence that's the title of the book. That has been said many, many times to me. And it was really interesting that as I started working more and more with these young people that I really enjoyed working with, the young people with behaviour needs, that I discovered that that strictness was not going to wash. And now I know from lots of experience, unfortunately, and a lot of research, that the reason for that is that for some of them, some of these young people, discipline has been the tool that has led to abuse. Or strictness and discipline is the thing that has brought shame to them. And so why would they respond to it from me? They don't care. They don't give a shit. Those kind of, I'm thinking about how I was, like, for me, you know, getting the school part or getting the high grade, it was motivating for me because I thought I was capable of doing it, and because I had a support network, I had a family that thought I was capable of doing it. But for some young people who don't have that, that's not exciting. That's not a motivation. And so why be strict? Like, why follow your rules? I'm not going to pass this GCSE anyway. So why should I bother listening to you? I've already been told I'm hopeless. I'm already been told I'm useless. I don't believe I can do it. And you telling me I have to tuck my shirt in is not going to make any difference. And giving me the 5th detention this week, miss, I don't give a shit. And so what I had to do was I had to start learning very, very quickly from colleagues. And I did a lot of research. I love reading. About, okay, what strategies do I need to look at? Because my way is not working anymore. I can just about get away with it in a mainstream classroom. But also, I noticed how tired I was becoming myself. Because I was trying to emulate, as I said before, I was like a mini me of my singing teacher. And that's not me. We are different people. And so I also wanted to unpick that, looking at how can I give myself an easier time? That, okay, when a young person doesn't come with their hair tied back for dance, that I don't have to have a big, you know, stress about it, because actually in the grand scheme of things, nothing really that bad has happened. Yes, I need to keep that boundary. I want to be clear. I'm not saying I let all my boundaries go, but that I held them in a different way. And this is why I love the topic that I work in now, because this experiment, this approach to behaviour of going, okay, I need to hold boundaries, especially for young people with behaviour needs. They need boundaries. It makes them feel safe. It makes all of us feel safe. COVID taught us that. We need boundaries. We need routines. When we don't have those, we all struggle, right? So I still need to hold these, but how can I hold that boundary in an easier way? How can I hold that boundary in a sustainable way? How can I hold that boundary in a way that enables the young person to see the benefit of it too and work with me to help with their learning? If this has sparked any, I'm sure it has, any kind of ideas of like, oh, hang on, I'm a bit like this because of this teacher. What kind of person are you now? What kind of teacher were you when you started? And school-wide as well, what kind of culture does your school have around behaviour? And what kind of messages are we sending to those young people? And what are we expecting of our staff? Are we expecting our staff to fit into a mold that doesn't work for them and essentially leads to burnout eventually? Or is there flexibility within the framework of the behaviour policy or the school's culture to behaviour? Is there flexibility for both staff and young people to, yes, stick to the boundaries, yes, stick to the high expectations, and find ways for them to do it for themselves that increases positive relationships and therefore learning across the school? I would love to know what you got from that, which things have sparked some ideas, and anything that you move forwards with. If you would like to work with me further on supporting staff to be able to do this, for giving staff the confidence to be able to manage behaviour in a way that works for them with the school's policies, then please do get in touch. I can be booked for training and intense projects as well. I sometimes work with schools over a period of time so that we can embed this culture and ultimately support our young people, especially the ones with the behaviour needs, so that they can become a part of positive social change. I look forward to hearing from you. Thank you.